Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I get this dewy, natural, long-lasting makeup look in just 10-15 minutes a day. So if you like these types of videos, then please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And if you want to see how I get this makeup look, then go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so it is about almost 6:30 in the morning. I figured I would just kind of do this in the morning before work since I have to get my makeup on anyway. But this is just going to be a quick, simple makeup routine. This is my everyday makeup routine. It takes probably about 15 minutes total, 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm done and out the door. And one really important thing to note is that I do tend to like a full coverage kind of look, but I also think my makeup does a good job of still feeling like skin and not looking too crazy. So we'll just go ahead and get into it. I have my mirror here, so if I start looking over on this side, that's because that's how I'm actually getting my makeup on. I don't know. I have you on a shoebox and a thing of waxing sticks, so I don't really know how this is gonna work. So I am gonna start with concealer under my eyes. I use the Shape Tape concealer by Tarte. Let's see if this will focus. And I am in the color Fair. So I'm just gonna dab a little bit of this under both eyes. I don't use a ton. I feel like a lot of times people use this and they're like bleh, all over. I don't use a ton. I just need enough to cover up these big dark circles. I just use my fingers. Try to keep it simple over here. Any excess on my fingers, I'll just kind of brighten up right in the middle of my eyebrows. Same thing, I'll go down my nose. My nose tends to get really red. You can kind of see a lot of the redness right in this area, but my nose especially tends to get pretty red. Okay, I'm already looking a little bit more awake, so that's exciting. Okay, so next up I'm gonna do my foundation. If this camera doesn't get knocked off here. So most of my brushes are Morphe, the Jaclyn Hill collection. This one is the JH3. And the foundation that I use is L'Oreal True Match Mineral Foundation. I feel like I have a good combination of cheap drugstore makeup and then also higher end like Sephora makeup in my repertoire, but I love this stuff. I have been using this for years and years and years. I love it so much more than Bare Minerals. I just feel like it goes on a lot smoother and easier, and I just love it. I don't use the brush that's in this thing though. It's like horse hair. It's horrible. So dab a little bit on my brush and just start using circular motions to get rid of all that redness. I wish this was more of a chatty video, but I'm still so tired I don't really have it in me to chat. I will say though that my skin is incredibly smooth. I did at-home dermaplaning last night. If you don't know what dermaplaning is, it's essentially kind of like a super close shave of your whole face. And most of the time you get it done with a dermaplaning facial, but there's a really awesome at-home dermaplaning tool that I bought from Sephora, and I'm obsessed with it, and my skin, it just is always so soft and smooth after I use it. I tend to do that typically like once a week. I'll do a little dermaplaning. It's not as intense as when you get it done with a facial, so usually with a facial you get it done maybe like once a month, but I feel like I can get away with once a week because it's not as intense. Okay, oh, I have a hair in my nose. Okay, so now that I am done with my foundation, I'm gonna move on next to my contour. I use the Too Faced Sun Bunny, what is this called? Bronzer. Good Lord, I'm tired. So yeah, as you can see, I use this all the time. And I use 2 different brushes depending on where I'm using it on my face. So the first brush I use is the Morphe by Jaclyn Hill JH05. So I just do a couple swirls, blow it off, and go right underneath my cheekbones. I also like to go right on my temples as well. I still have creases on my face from my pillow. Oy. Okay, so I already have some cheekbones. That's exciting. So the next thing I do, I also contour my face, and I also make sure that I put some bronzer on my neck so that my neck matches my face. And I do that with a really big fluffy brush. So this is the, again, Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH02. So same thing. And then I just start going up on my forehead really lightly. I like using this big fluffy brush for this part so that it doesn't look like a streak on my forehead. And it kind of blends itself as I'm using it. So that's all I do for my forehead. Now I have to make my neck match. I have lines on my neck too. What is going on? Must have slept well last night. Okay, looking pretty good. So I am done with the bronzer now. And next up, this is where things get a little cray-cray. Okay, so next up I'm gonna do some highlighting. Now this is where, if you happen to be a makeup artist, just look away. I know that this is not the way that people typically do their makeup, but it works for me. Once I get my setting spray on and everything kind of like chills out and blends together, so we're going with it. So this next product that I use is by Ulta, so it's Ulta brand, and it's their illuminating powder. So it's essentially a highlighter, but it's a super light highlighter. This is in the color yellow gold, or no, yellow diamond. I can't even read. And I basically put this all under my eyes. So let me get a brush. Ugh. This is the, I think, only 1 out of 2 brushes that I use that are not the Morphe Jaclyn Hill. This is a cargo brush. I don't even know what it's called anymore because I've had this for so many years that it's completely like off the top. I think it's called their magic brush, maybe? I don't know, don't quote me on that, but I love this thing because it's big, but it's also really like compact bristles, so it gets you a lot of coverage when you want it. So this stuff is a little goes a long way. So I'm just gonna do 1 swipe. You'll see I have a ton on there, but I basically just wipe this under and around my eyes. I am constantly trying to get my eye area as bright as possible because my dark circles are so bad. Mom life. So that essentially just makes things a lot lighter and brighter. And the other thing that I like about this stuff is that there's a tiny little bit of like shimmer in it, so it catches the light and it also makes you look a little bit more dewy. So all of the stuff that I'm using is powder, and powder can tend to make you look kind of dull and all kind of matte one color, but this brings a little bit of dimension back into my face. So once I'm done with the under eye area, I do whatever's excess right on to my forehead. Again, just to give me a little bit more dewiness, I guess I would say. Okay, so we're done with that. And next up, so again, another thing to make my under eyes look a little brighter. Oh my God, I'm throwing brushes, holy cow. Next up, I use the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder for under eyes. This stuff is really awesome. Again, a little goes a long way. And again, I don't use it in the way that you're supposed to use it. So I'll show you how I use it. I have really deep set eyes, like right here. So this area right in the corners of my eyes always looks the darkest, not necessarily because it's like dark circles, but just because it's a shadow, because it's so set in. So what I do, oh, and this is with the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH37 brush. What I do is I get a hefty amount onto my brush, tap off any excess, and then I just put this right into the corner of my eye. And honestly, I do like a pretty decent amount in here. I'll bring it down a little bit into these little bags. I lose my breath whenever I see. And again, like I'm just trying to get my eyes as bright and awake as possible. So that's it, that's all I use that for, and that stays there. I'm not like doing any baking or anything like that. Like that's done, that stays there, and we're off to the next thing. So for blush, I use the NARS Orgasm Blush. I love this stuff because it's just a really nice natural blush color. I use my finger again, so I just kind of swipe my finger in here, get about that much on my finger. And then, so I actually learned this trick from Wayne Goss on YouTube. If you aren't following him yet, you should. He is just like a makeup god. I'm obsessed with him. But he has one of these tricks in one of his YouTube videos about putting on blush. So essentially what you should be doing if you want to look more youthful and like your cheeks are, you know, fuller, instead of putting the blush on the apples of your cheeks, you should put it right above the apples of your cheeks, essentially right underneath your eye. So I smile, and that's exactly what I do. I put it right underneath my eye. Not a ton, but that just adds a little bit of color. If you can even see, I feel like the lighting in here is so washed out, I don't even know if you can see this. I like using my finger a lot because I feel like I just have a little bit more control. If you have acne prone skin, I would suggest probably not using your fingers because the oil and dirt and everything on your hands is gonna get all over your face. But luckily I don't, so not a big deal. Okay, so I'm almost done with my face, kind of the foundation for everything. The last thing that I'm gonna use on my face is this highlighter, yet another highlighter. I know, I'm kind of obsessed with highlighters. This is the Mary Lou Manizer, AKA the Luminizer. I don't know, that's it. From the Balm Cosmetics, B-A-L-M. I'm pretty sure I found this on Amazon. It's really awesome. So I'm going to get another brush. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH07. And sorry that all of my brushes are dirty. I mean, let's all be real with each other. Nobody around here is going and washing their brushes like every single day after every use. And if you are, that's freaking awesome. But for the rest of us, I wash my brushes probably once a month, if I'm lucky. It's fine. My face seems fine, whatever. That's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and swipe into this. And I essentially just put this right on top of the bronzer that I put onto my cheeks, kind of around my eyes, and you'll kind of see the rest. So this stuff, if you can see that, can you see? Has some really awesome payoff. And I go pretty crazy with the highlighter because I'm just obsessed. I always want to look as dewy as possible. I don't know why. I basically want to look like my face is wet all the time. So that seems pretty good, right? Gonna do just a little bit more. Just swipe that bad boy in there. Okay, so that's the only place that I use the brush for. The rest of it, I'm gonna use my fingers. So I wiped off my finger on my pants from the blush that I was using, and then I'm just gonna swipe my finger in there. So again, I've got some on there, and then I go down the center of my nose. So that gives a little bit of sheen there. Right on my Cupid's bow. And then right on my chin, right in the center. Really all of the places that the sun, I guess, would like hit you naturally. And that you kind of want, highlighter kind of makes everything pop out, whereas bronzer brings everything in. So anywhere that you want things to pop out, or, you know, I did the bridge of my nose because I want the rest of my nose to not be as noticeable, but the bridge typically makes it look a little bit thinner. So I did that. I'm also going to use my finger to add just a little bit more onto my cheekbones, because again, I'm obsessed. Okay, and that's it for the kind of base layer of my makeup. So the only things that I have left to do are my eyebrows and my eyes. So eyebrows get a little bit crazy too. I'm gonna see, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do them into the camera, but I'm gonna try as much as possible. So for my eyebrows, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and this is in the color Taupe. And I'm also using, I'm pretty sure this is an Anastasia Beverly Hills brush as well. It's their like super fine tip, if you can see. And then it's got a little dingy on the end. So I'm gonna brush up my eyebrows. I feel like my eyebrows are the thing that make the biggest transformation when I put on my makeup. And by transformation, I mean they look completely different than they do right now. I'm gonna take a coffee break. Okay, so once all of my eyebrows are kind of up and ready to go, I'm gonna start this thing. Let me tell you, if you are in the market for something to do your brows with and everything is super expensive, like I used to get the Anastasia Beverly Hills pencil. It's so expensive and it lasted like a month. Like it was so ridiculous. This dip brow stuff, honestly, I think I've been using this same one for like 8 months, maybe even more than that. Like if you wanna get some brow stuff that's not gonna go anywhere on your face and it's gonna last you a really long time, this costs a little bit more than something you would get at the drugstore, but it is 100% worth it in my opinion because it lasts forever. So highly recommend it. So I treat my eyebrows the way that a lot of people treat their lips when they're putting on a lip pencil. And I kind of go over the actual size of my eyebrows. So I'll show you what I mean. My eyebrows are pretty thin from just being over tweezed since I was, you know, a teen. So what I'm doing is essentially giving myself microblading, but on the cheap, and it washes off, unfortunately. So I'm gonna start at the base of my eyebrow and I'm gonna overline quite a bit. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm putting a line in the area that I'm missing brow, but I still wanna have that shape. So I go a little bit over in the corner and I go quite a bit over underneath. I'm gonna do that same thing on the other side. Okay, so that's what my eyebrows look like so far. And then I'll do the middle. And I try to do like hair-like strokes as much as possible here by angling the brush up and just kind of pressing lightly. And then I'll take the brush and I'll push up some of the color that was already there. Okay, so that's that so far. Let's do the other side. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. It doesn't look great so far, I get it, but we're gonna fix it after we're finished with everything else. So I also overline on the top just a little bit. Kind of follow the natural curve of my eyebrow. So now you can see I'm starting to get the shape that I want. Okay, so that's what we look like so far, and now I'm just gonna fill in all of those areas that don't have hair and don't have color. Okay, so once I have them all colored in the way that I want them, I'll just do a quick brush through again. And we're looking good on eyebrows. I look like a completely different person once I've done my eyebrows. It's silly. Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna do is eyes. All I do is a quick swipe of mascara. So first I'm gonna curl my eyelashes. I actually have pretty long, pretty curly eyelashes naturally, and I didn't used to have to curl them, but since we moved into this new house, I have been sleeping with a sleep mask so that I can get better sleep, and the sleep mask totally messes up my eyelashes, so I gotta do this every day now. Oh God, that made my eye water. Okay, so there's one. I see a light in your eyes. Okay, eyelashes curled. Water taken care of, and I use the Voluminous Lash Paradise by L'Oreal. You will not find, my camera just stopped filming. What I was saying is you will not find a better mascara than this stuff, and you can actually get this right now in a 3-pack from Costco. I am obsessed. It makes your eyelashes look so big and long and fluffy. I love it. I gotta swim to the island. Look at that. Look at that. They're so pretty. Messed up, I'm gonna walk you home. You'd feel the gravity of my heart. This stuff is just so great. It's super buildable. It doesn't make your eyelashes look like nasty spider legs. I just love it. And it's inexpensive. I think this stuff, everybody's obsessed with the Better Than Sex mascara from, I think it's Urban Decay. I've tried it. I did not like it very much. I think this stuff is 8 million times better than that, and it's half the price. Okay, that's it for my makeup. So the last thing I do is set everything. I'm gonna wait just a couple of minutes for my eyelashes to dry, and then I'll set everything. Okay, so now that my mascara is a little bit drier, like I said, I'm gonna set everything. I'm gonna look like a crazy person, but I put a shower cap over my hair so that none of my setting stuff gets in my hair. I just want to make sure that my hair doesn't get all nasty, because it tends to do that if you're spraying a ton of stuff all over your face and you're not covering up your hair. So here I am, this is what I look like. So the first thing I'm gonna use, I use 2 different things to set my makeup. The first thing I'm gonna use is this Grace and Stella Rose, let's see if it'll focus, Rose Spray All Day spray. I don't really have a reason for using this except that I got it in a FabFitFun box, and I was like, well, I might as well use it. So it smells really amazing and I just love it. So I spray this all over my face. Okay, and that already starts blending everything in for me, so it looks a little bit more, like I said, dewy. I love that dewy look. I want to make sure that I look as dewy and youthful as possible. So I'll let that set for just a little bit and dry. Okay, so now that that's dry, here is the trick of the century. It is the thing that will make your makeup last all day. I don't have to reapply any makeup all day long. I could wear my makeup to bed if I want to, and it's still gonna look exactly the same the next morning, and it's because of this trick. hairspray. This is the last thing that I use to set all of my makeup. And again, if you are a makeup guru or anything like that, turn away now. This is not the video for you because I'm sure that you've got lots of opinions on this. And I know there are a lot of opinions online about using hairspray as a makeup setting spray. You know, they say that it can really dry out your face, all of that. It doesn't do that for me. I mean, I have like pretty normal skin, so it doesn't do that. If you do have really dry skin or even really sensitive skin, this might not be the best thing for you. But if you have normal skin, even oily skin, I think this would work really great. I'm using the Aussie Mega Hairspray. It's 24-hour flexible hold. I always go for a flexible hold hairspray. You don't want like the crazy super hold hairspray because it's just gonna make your face feel like it can't move all day. So I always go for the flexible hold and then I spray it all over. And that's it, folks. So already, look at how dewy my face is. Oh God, it's just so great. It went from to just because of that hairspray. So now I'm finished with that, and that's it. I'm gonna let that dry and set, but now my makeup will last literally all day long, and it's gonna look like it's just my skin. I put on quite a bit of makeup, but I think overall it looks like a pretty natural look, and it only takes about, like I said, 10-15 minutes, so it's a pretty easy look, and you get to walk out the door feeling like you look like $1,000,000. It is now about 6:47, so like I said, we started at a little bit before 6:30. I've been talking to you this whole time, so I think if I hadn't been talking to you, it would have taken me seriously like 12 minutes to get everything done. But this is the finished look, and I really like it, and it's something that you can go from day to night with, and to me it looks pretty natural, and it's gonna last me all day long. Thanks for watching today's video. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. If you like these types of videos, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I do a lot of content for mommies, moms on the go, hair, makeup, all those types of fun shows. So yeah, please come back. I'd love to see you here again soon. Thanks guys, bye.
I see a light in your eyes. I follow you so damn foolishly. You'd be the sweetest goodbye. Give me a heart trip exclusive.